Greetings after 7 years, because it appears that it was 2018 when I posted a video of the first Doom 2 map entryway. 7 years. In some jurisdictions, that's long enough that one could legally presume I was dead. I guess I just broke a mirror or something. I don't know. I'm never giving up black cats, though. Yeah, the 12-step program didn't take. And cold turkey? Talk about self-sabotage. So here's my plan. I stumbled upon the files for that 2018 playthrough on an old external hard drive. If you watched my recent video, you know that I historically have had challenges with data storage. But yes, I found the games, but I didn't find my audio commentary. You get where I'm going with this. I do think that live commentary is usually better, but when I'm playing a frenetic shooting game like this, things are moving pretty fast, and my words are not terribly eloquent or thoughtful. You know, a lot of, oh my god, sputtering, breathing heavily, calling the pain elemental a bitch. If I do it this way, you'll be spared my girly shrieks when something comes up behind me. Probably. So if I comment on this now, I think it might be a good balance between me remembering a bit of it and being able to speak from that experience, while also not remembering most of it and having some spontaneous thoughts and reactions, all while being a little more mentally detached and able to think about my situation instead of being in survival mode.
Played these games before!
Of course, maybe there's really not that much to say about a first-person shooter that isn't an immediate response. You know, it's not Gabriel Knight. There's no story to analyze. No sex or voodoo either. Although, those zombie men had to come from somewhere. Well, I also know where most of the secrets and items are, but, I'm still not the authority on that. I wouldn't be contributing to the field that much. So what really is there to talk about? Do you want me to write a poem for each map? I don't know. Let's just see how it goes. I just feel like this would be fun and easy to do, considering I'm still recovering from my other data loss event. Before I start, there are a couple things I recall about this that I can warn you about. When I recorded this, it had been a while since I had last actually sat down and played the game, and my control of, the controls was a little imprecise, even clumsy at times, early on. This sounds so promising, I know. The other thing is, because of my particular situation at the time, I dealt with a number of interruptions while I was playing. And instead of starting over that level, I remember a few times I paused so that I could just come back. I think this seems like bullshit, frankly, from a viewer's perspective. However, I'm just going to do this anyway. But know that it is in my future plans to replay this game in due time.
Future events such as these will affect you in the future.
On ultraviolence. It's funny, I planned to replay this for the 25th anniversary of its release. And I even recorded a whole introduction about the history and significance of Doom in the 90s and everything, which I thought was even fairly insightful for being about Doom.
Yeah, it's a really great video game about a guy who kills people with a big hammer.
Oh, I thought maybe this was supposed to be your father.
Maybe not. But now that's lost because that was 6 years ago. And this game is now more than 30 years old. It's old enough to run for Senate. Maybe a guy with a chainsaw and a rocket launcher is just what Congress needs? Ironically enough, Doom is somewhat relevant again because there was a new Doom game released recently. Wasn't there? I am not a quote-unquote gamer at all. I don't follow any kind of game stuff whatsoever. I'm always seeing references to new games and gaming news and controversies, but my eyes just glaze over and I have no idea what these things are. I'm not part of the community, so to speak, and I probably haven't played something newly released in 20 years. I don't watch gaming videos either, really. I mean, occasionally I actively seek out a particular game and watch random videos for a brief spell, but the only channel I subscribed to was Sax Cat's Gaming Corner, and he has disappeared off the face of the earth. Yeah, I have never seen a stream, unless we're talking about the Bedburn Beck, but I don't think I have ever watched any kind of social media live stream. I am vaguely aware that there's something called Twitch, where people make them, but that's all I know. I feel like this might be a necessary disclosure, that for better or worse, I'm almost completely detached from the gaming scene. Is this even a gaming channel? All I'm doing here is living my life and talking to a microphone instead of my dog. Nevertheless, I have seen enough Doom videos in my life that I do have a shibboleth for you. Terry traps. Crazy to think that this game is 30 years old, but I have been known to cling to the past. So I still love this. Believe it or not, it's a comfort game, you know? It's like comfort food, except I don't have to throw up afterwards. Sometimes I almost throw up during. Actually, it's so complicated because it's comforting and extremely tense at the same time. Like I said, I attribute my overdeveloped startle reflex to playing this game as a small child. I can't explain this, but somehow it can be relaxing. Not to mention cathartic. Even me, the loopiest person you've ever met, tiptoeing through the tulips, filled to the brim with girlish glee, ta-ra-ra fucking boom-de-yay. And even I need to blow some shit away sometimes. Just in the game, mind. Okay, I think I've covered any and all relevant bases here. So, the time has come. The walrus said. Am I the walrus? God damn it. Okay, the next sentence you hear from me, you will be looking at Underhalls. I promise. Do I really want to do this? It looks like I started here instead of carrying over my weapons and everything from entryway. I hope you liked my AI cat with the turkey, by the way. I realized nobody would understand what I was trying to say without it. Well, honestly, I don't know, but I err on the side of assuming that anyone watching this is an idiot. I'm actually an AI hater, though. Like, all I asked for was a picture of Macron making out with Zelensky. Why can't I have this? If you've ever seen Macron in the presence of anyone, he's halfway there already. But ChatGPT is all like, I'm sorry, Trixie, I'm afraid I can't do that. This is the way the world ends. Not with a bang, but a clanker. By the way, credit me if you borrowed that. Me and T.S. Eliot. I swear to God, this one time, I had to reassess my whole life when someone on 4chan, I don't want to say stole, but used the same little joke I made on another forum. I mean, I found this by Googling, because I thought, what I wrote was clever, but I wondered if anyone else had been able to come up with it. It wasn't impossible. So maybe they arrived at it independently, like Pete Campbell. God, I miss that pathetic loser, Pete Campbell. But I still had a mini crisis over the fact that I was a hit on 4chan. It was pretty tasteless.
We were in the presence of a bona fide racist.
Secret here, there's always a guy waiting here to shoot you in the face. And a guy waiting here to shoot you in the face. Yeah, I get that a lot, actually. But they were both a little off their game today. Sometimes they're pointing the gun at you as you teleport. You don't have the key. What are you doing? Oh, I wasn't done talking about AI. I saw 2001 on the big screen a few years ago, and in a way, my life has been downhill ever since, because that's one of those moments like, well, I can die now. What else even is there to look forward to? Except another screening, I guess. They show it pretty regularly at the Museum of the Moving Image in Astoria. and I believe the Music Box Theater in Chicago. I'm sure it's been played in some of your lesser cities as well, but I wouldn't know. I'm just kidding. You know, I really like most of the music in this game, but what is with the 80s lounge music in this map? Oh my god. Is this the Lost Leisure Suit Larry 4 game? Larry definitely would not survive in this world, let alone, get laid. There aren't any women here except me, and I'm currently in the form of Doom Guy. Now, I am a notorious pro-Semite, and Larry does kind of give off a vibe. But still, I do have some standards. He's going to have to hook up with the pain elemental. I kind of want to keep talking about, well, I swear the last time I heard also sprach, thus spake Zarathustra, I burst into tears. I'm not joking. I love when the monsters attack each other like that. Thank you so much. I think Kubrick kind of invented the use of classical music instead of like an original score written for the film. Think about it. Who did that before him? No one. Even though it seems fairly intuitive, the Looney Tunes shorts are the closest thing I can think of. You never hear it in older films. It's always diegetic when they play classical music. A character's got their violin out. Please let me know if I'm wrong. I'm very interested in this. Yeah, if you thought this was leading up to a story about the movie or anything, you were wrong. It was just me chattering pointlessly. Well, I had a good time. I think I could justify a Kubrick tangent had I actually played on the ultraviolent skill level, but I have not watched the video I posted of Entryway. Nobody has, but I know it would make me cringe too much, even after 7 years. Maybe especially after 7 years. I only remember, referencing Doctor Who for no reason. But I already know that in a matter of days, it's going to be the same deal. If I watch this, I'm going to cringe. You just gotta keep moving, I guess. I'm sure I focused on the game better the first time I recorded this, because I was actually playing. But honestly, I do remember referencing Werner Herzog at one point. So maybe this is just kind of how I am. Well, the game is over and I'm still talking. Some thoughts on the gameplay I talked through. Well, I noticed that I immediately committed to the so-called super shotgun for the rest of the game once I got it. And maybe this is kind of silly because these enemies are so easy to kill with a single shell and then you don't have to wait so long to reload. But it's not a big deal because there's abundant health and ammo here. The super shotgun is the thing in this game. It's definitely the best weapon all around, the most versatile, at least in my estimation. I have a basic knowledge of Doom weapons, but honestly, I know nothing about guns in real life. Nothing. I don't think I've ever even touched one.
This is a gun. And as soon as I've read the instruction leaflet, I won't hesitate to use it.
I also don't kill anything. I don't kill insects if I can help it. And I love spiders. They're kind of my friends. There's the Parson spider with its cute little vestments and, well, I think this has gone on long enough, don't you? Maybe next time I'll talk about the game. Yeah, sorry. This is kind of how I watch TV, too. But not movies. Those are sacred.
This conversation can serve no purpose anymore. Goodbye.